So I'm 39 years old with two kids, and I'm teaching them something that took me until my mid 20s to figure out: money. Not because I want them to be rich, but because I don't want them to be broke and confused at 35. I work with hundreds of families as a certified financial planner, and here's what I see all the time: smart, hardworking dads in their 40s who have no idea where their money is going. They're making six figures and living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because nobody taught them. So I want to break the cycle. My kids are 7 and 9, and they're already learning to save, spend, and invest. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm doing it, the conversations we have, the systems we use, and how you can start doing this with your kids this week, no matter what their age is. Because the earlier we normalize this conversation about money, the better chance they have at avoiding the mistakes we made. So let's get into it. So here's the thing. Money these days is still a taboo topic, even between spouses. I've seen marriages where one person has no idea what's in the bank account and the other is spending money like crazy while the other person is silently stressing. So if adults can't talk about money, how are kids supposed to learn it? And the answer is they're not. That's why I'm being intentional. My wife and I talk openly about money now, and we don't talk about the specifics about our income and expenses. Again, they're only 7 and 9. But just openly in general about how it works. And the more aligned we are, the easier it is to bring the kids into those conversations. Because here's the reality. If we don't teach them, they'll learn from whoever they see on social media selling them a lifestyle they can't afford. They'll pick up bad habits from their friends, the credit card companies, car dealerships, all the places that don't instill good money habits. And I've seen that movie. I've seen the debt, the stress, the guys in their 50s and 60s who feel trapped, the couples in their early 70s who can't retire because they never saved, and it's tragic. So what's the alternative? Teach them early, and I'm already seeing the benefits. I found when you teach kids about money early, three things happen. One, they build confidence. They're not scared of the numbers. They're not intimidated. They start learning how to make decisions. Two, they understand that there's trade-offs. My 7-year-old wanted a toy at Walmart maybe a couple weeks ago. He had $12 in his wallet. The toy was $50. He realized he didn't have enough to get it, so he didn't get anything. But he now knows that he has to save more and will eventually be able to get it once he has the $50. That's awareness. Number three, they start thinking long-term. I'll get into this more in a second, but my kids have seen their money grow. They've watched the chart that shows their account balance go up over long periods of time. I log into their accounts online and actually show them and just say, hey, look, this is your balance. Look at how much it's grown over the years. And now when they get their birthday money, sometimes they ask me, can we invest this? And again, this doesn't happen all the time. They're 7 and 9. But when they do mention it, it's not something that we forced. That's something they learned by watching. So how are we actually doing all this? Let me walk you through it. We first started with them each having their own piggy bank in their own rooms. And we started this back when they were around 4 years old. Most of the money they got from their birthday or the tooth fairy went straight into the piggy bank to focus on just saving. That built the habit. And the money they would get for Christmas, usually $100 each or so, would go straight into their investment accounts. Second is we got them each their own wallet at 7 and 9. So this has actually happened pretty recent. And when we go out, they bring their money. When we go to a football game or a field hockey game, they bring it along. And if they want something small like a toy, chips, or French fries, they buy it with their own cash. And that allows them to feel it and experience it. They see the money leaving their wallet, right? That's way more powerful than me swiping a card. But here's where it gets interesting. We opened investment accounts for both of them when they were both babies. Not huge amounts to start, but over the years, they've grown enough to show them what growth actually looks like. And every now and then I'll pull up the account and show them and just say, hey, look, your account was around $1,000 7 years ago. Now look, it's $27,000 now. It grew because we left it alone and sometimes put more money in. Now, they don't need to understand compounding interest just yet. If I actually say those words to them, they'll look at me as if I have two heads. They just need to see that the money can grow if you don't touch it. That's the shift. That's what happens when you make investing normal instead of never talking about it or talking about it too late in life. But none of this works if you're not talking about money openly at home. This is the piece most parents skip, and I understand why. We think my kids don't need to know about money just yet. But in reality, they're already learning. They're watching you. They see what you buy. They see you swipe the card, or maybe they see you stressed about money. So now that our kids are getting older, we just started being more open. When we're at the store, I'll say, this costs $70. That's a lot for just a little toy. Or a new gaming system is $600. That's expensive. And I wouldn't see this as if you're complaining. You're just sharing the reality of the situation, right? Even if you can afford that $500 gaming system, it doesn't mean you should buy it for them. Give them context. My son randomly asked us one day, maybe a week or two ago, are we rich? And my wife and I looked at each other and laughed and just told him, no, you're not rich. We're not rich. You're just spoiled. And then we joked about it and, moved on. Because we do well, but we're careful with our money so we can go places and do fun things and not stress about it. So money doesn't have to be awkward. When you talk about it enough and just make it part of a normal conversation, then it becomes a regular thing. When you start early using piggy banks, wallets, investment accounts, and talk about it openly, your kids don't grow up clueless about money in general, or they're not scared of money. They grow up confident. They understand that there's trade-offs. They know how to save. They've seen money grow, and they don't panic when they hear the word budget. That's the goal. Not to make them obsessed with money, but to give them the tools so they're not figuring it out the hard way later in life. Because the earlier we make this normal, the better chance they have at building a life they can enjoy and do the things they want to do. So that's how I'm teaching my kids about money. It's nothing fancy. It's just being intentional and aware. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I never learned this stuff either, I get it. A lot of us didn't, including myself. If this is you, I'd encourage you to watch this video right here, where I'll walk you through how to start tracking your money this week. Click here to watch, and I'll see you over there.